Well, hello again and welcome to Fifi's Urban Homestead and Lifestyle. I'm out here cleaning up this raised bed so I can put my fall garlic in. I just pulled out this ground cherry from the spot right here. I dumped it over here on the compost pile to break down. Our first frost has already come and gone, and these would not mature enough and therefore it won't be edible, so I had to pull it out. So now I'm going to assess this soil right here and see how it's doing. We have some worm activities. As you can see, all those droppings are from the worms, those worm castings. Yep, there's a worm in here, a big old worm, I can tell. And so I'm just going to work this soil up a little bit. I'm definitely going to add some broken down chicken compost in here, and I'm going to get this bed ready to put my fall garlic in, because that way it will get an early start. You will have bigger garlic bulbs, and I can actually double my production by planting this fall and also in the spring. So I'm going to just scrape all of this up and dump it on the compost pile, because this is natural materials that can be easily composted. And because I don't want these seeds to regrow in the bed next season, I'm removing it. Other than that, if it was just bare leaves, I'll just leave it right in there to help nurture the soil. So I'm going to remove this. I'm going to add some of my chicken compost that I already have ready to go. This soil still looks pretty good because I didn't have a whole lot planted in here, just pretty much these ground cherries. And I still see I gotta get rid of all of these from in here. There's some ants eating this one out. Yeah. And guys, I feel so violated because of these worms that I found in my garden earlier. Probably like a few weeks ago. So now I have to wear gloves. I don't want to come in contact with them at all. And for those of you who didn't see the video, it was this hammerhead worm that I found in my garden for the first time, which I reported, and they emailed me back saying that it was introduced to the area. It's not native to the area, but it was introduced here. I don't know why. I don't know what the reason is, but I prefer to not have it in my garden. I don't know how it got into my garden. And this is one of the things that we have to be aware of. And by starts, we don't know what soil is in there. Even though sometimes we may think we're getting it from a reputable source, we just never know. So we gotta be conscious, be aware, and just be careful. Alright, so I'm just gonna mix this in, because this here is pretty much just dry grass. I'm gonna get rid of all of these from the trellis right here. I'm gonna actually remove this trellis here from this bed. But you see all this? This is worm activities in here. So I'm just gonna dig it up, mix it in. I should have my little hand shovel. But yeah, I'm gonna soften this up really good, mixing some chicken compost, and then I'm gonna make my rows for my garlic. It's a pretty decent sized bed right here for garlic. And I do plant garlic in the fall and in the spring, so I end up getting 2 harvests every year. So just pull this up. There we go. Just get rid of this all together. So I'm going to grab my fork and loosen up this soil in here first, so that way I can mix the chicken compost in. Look what's in this bed, guys. Look at these worms. More ground cherries. I'm pretty sure some of it is going to pop up next year. If the seed survives, they're probably just going to germinate and come up in here next year. So maybe I'll just transplant them. I like to go deep because I like to loosen up the soil really good. All right, let me move you guys back over here. I keep hitting some rocks in there. They're not big rocks, just these small rocks, but I happen to keep hitting them with the fork. More worms. Hey, how are you? Good. That's one of my neighbors, 3 houses down. Pretty much neighborly around here, so that's good. In my garden, let's see. Oh, I don't have it now. Oh, there it is. I usually have my Sharpie when I'm planting, because what I do sometimes is, see how I use one side of this? I don't have to go in and get more. So once I'm planting in the fall, I can always use the back side. Cross this off and use the back side, put the date, and that's been working really well for me because I've been working more and more on my tagging and my labeling, just so that I can be organized. I get excited when I see worms, even though I see them all the time. All right, so let me show you what this bed looks like and the way the soil looks in here. Look at them big old worms. Look at that. Ah, some nice fatties. Alright, so now I'm going to come in with my compost, and this material here, I got it from my backyard. I transported some more worms in here. As you can see, I can't get rid of them because they're just everywhere. And this, I didn't pass this through a sieve. It's filled with wood chips and stuff, that natural material that is not yet broken down. So I'm just going to nicely mix this in as evenly as I can. into the entire bed, and then I'm going to level this off and start making my holes and plant my garlic. Alright guys, now that the compost is mixed in the entire bed, I've dug the holes, and I don't go by measurement here. I just do what works for me. You know, I'm not a fancy gardener. I don't have certain methods that I use, that I go about doing things the same way all the time. And these holes are dug. I'm not going to give you a measurement because sometimes some people may dig it a little bit deeper and it works for them. Other people may dig it deeper and the garlic may rot in the ground, because I've heard of people saying that the garlic rotted. I don't know the reason why, but I don't plant it too deep, right? And then I want my soil to be nice and loose enough so that when that garlic starts growing, it can bulb up really easily. I don't want the soil to be too tight, so when it starts growing next season, it'll be easier for me to be able to harvest nice big bulbs of garlic. And so I plant these in the fall so that way the roots can get started. And let me just show you what I have here. Sometimes I just put it directly into the ground and let it root by itself, but this time, because I was so late, I had expected to do this since early October, but I didn't find the time to do it, and so I went ahead and started getting the roots going. So right here I have a bunch of garlic. I have approximately 65 holes right here in this bed that I dug. And so I'm going to choose the best looking heads right here with the skin still on, right? And I'm going to place them in every hole here. I believe it's 65. I'm going to choose 65 really nice big heads, the best of the heads that I have here. Then I'm going to put them in the holes and cover it all up. And then I have some seed and straw right here. I've had this sitting in my shed for about a couple years now, because I didn't use it at all last year because it was so mild. But I'm actually going to use it this year just because it's been sitting there. So I'm going to put these in the ground, cover it all up, and then add the seed and straw to it to insulate it a bit. What we want to do is place the roots downside and the tip up. See, this one is already starting to sprout, and that's quite okay. It's not going to bulb up till next season when the weather warms up, but the roots are going to grow down and it's going to go deep enough to get established in the fall before the cold weather really hits in hard. We get a really nice shower of rain today, later on today and tomorrow. And won't be watering these. Oh, okay, this one has roots. I mean, you can plant it without the root. It's gonna root anyways because it's a bulb and there's energy in it, so it's gonna, you know, once it's in that atmosphere to start growing and pushing roots, it's gonna do just that. These are kind of tiny. I'll hold off on those. And this is definitely a lot of garlic I have putting in here, because imagine I have 65 in just this bed, and I think I'm gonna do a couple more beds, and I may just do some in containers too, because there's a whole lot you can do with garlic. And for you to get a nice big harvest of it, you actually have to plant a lot of garlic, because there's so much you can do. You can put it in your seasoning, in your dry rubs. You can make fermented garlic. You can make garlic powder. There's a whole lot you can do with garlic. And if you want to be able to do all that stuff with garlic, then you have to plant a whole lot of it. So I'm going to go to town and plant all of these garlic. I do have a lot left on that bucket cover, and I also have some elephant garlic that I need to replant again. I planted some last year. They did pretty well, and I'm going to plant some more this year. So let's get to planting. All right, we're almost there, and I'll show you what it looks like when we're all done. I think I have more garlic than I would ever need, and it's a good thing because I also feed it to my chickens. It's an immune system booster, and it keeps parasites at bay. Okay, I think that's it. And this worm is just out across my garlic rows, but either way, this is what the rows look like. Oh, I have a double here. We don't want that because we got to leave enough room for the garlic to grow. We don't want them to compete with each other. So this is what it looks like. I have lots of garlic here to plant still. I'm gonna set this aside, and then I'm just gonna lightly cover the garlics just like so. Because I'm going to be insulating them with the seeding straw. Another rock. Cover each and every hole here. Do one of these normally. Just simply swipe my hand over it. Nothing fancy. It's not a competition. It works for me. So that's just what I'm going to do. And this is how it looks when it's done. Look, this one's sticking up because it's tall enough. It's grown enough. Make this look nice and leveled. And this piece of PVC is already in there, so I'm going to mark what I planted on this and the date right there. All right, let's just grab the seeding straw. And you don't have to do this. I don't have any leaves this year. Usually I do, but look at this, guys. It's October 20th today, and all the leaves are still green. I don't have leaves in my garden. It's ridiculous. Things haven't started, dying off and dropping enough for me to do this, but I need to get these garlic in the ground because we already had our first frost of the season, and I don't want to wait for the leaves just to put my garlic in. So I'm just going to put a nice layer, and this is natural material. This is just natural straw. I'm going to add it to this bed. It's going to eventually decompose and add nutrients to the soil. It's natural material. The worms are in there. The microorganisms are in there. They're going to enjoy that. But I really wished I had some dry leaves instead. I really do prefer using the leaves from my garden because I don't like spending, guys. I don't like spending, especially if I don't have to. But I want to be able to insulate these. And so I'm going to just use this straw pack that I've been storing up in my shed for a couple of years. Where's this worm going? Go back under. And there it is, guys. We have our first bed of fall garlic planting in. We have a ways to go, so I'm gonna get going, prepare the beds, plant these out, and I'm also gonna grow some in some containers. And it's an investment. I'm not telling you to go out there and spend, but those large containers, I'm gonna be doing a lot more container planting because I have the potential to do so. And I've seen the production of container growing and container planting, and so that's what I'm gonna do. Put these in the fall, get an early harvest, and utilize the space to grow more food. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for coming. Thanks for all your support. Have a blessed and wonderful weekend. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time right here on Fifi's Urban Homestead and Lifestyle.